really stands out just because we did go to such a extreme extent to make it really hit the nail on the head as far as the C7R stuff goes. Building a one-off spoiler is something that is really unheard of on these cars, and the power package is second to none as far as pump gas street cars go. So being able to do the entire performance package in such a tasteful way and matching the performance and the suspension really, I think, is unparalleled. Hans Moore, the owner of the C7, was a returning customer who we had built a '69 Corvette for in the past. So we had a good relationship. We kind of knew what he was looking for and what he's all about. So when he described to us what he wanted to do with this car, that he was looking to build this C7R into a real, legitimate street car, we really connected, and we knew pretty well right off the bat what we needed to do to achieve the goals that he was looking for. The first go around, what we might call the appearance package, took about 3 months to accomplish, and that included building the mold and pulling the part out of there for the carbon fiber spoiler. We built the hood and did all the graphics package. The second time, he took it back for the summer to drive it around, enjoyed a little bit, and brought it back in the fall for probably another 4-month turnaround time, which was the performance stuff. We did shock upgrade, Delrin bushings and all the suspension, the big blower, heads, cam, and a major upgrade to the fuel system. Driving the car is extremely exhilarating. It's being that we kept the factory cutout stuff in the exhaust. You can drive the car and it feels very tame. Depending on the traction mode that you're in or how you're using the car, you can drive, you can have a conversation, you can go over bumps, you can use the car, and it'll work like a daily driver. And as soon as you get into it and you open up the exhaust and get into some boost, it just runs like a raped ape. So that huge transition as far as the power coming in and hitting so hard makes the car super drivable and a lot of fun. Because the tires are spinning on the dyno, we're getting real botched numbers, getting really, really high torque numbers and low horsepower. And by the time we kind of got it to flatten out, tuning was pretty much where we needed it to be, and we were a little bit on a time restraint. So at the end of the day, we're somewhere in the high 1100 horsepower range, and I think in the 4-figure torque. Thanks to a sponsor, RM, for the excellent color match on being able to get the hatch, the hood, and the bumper to be just perfectly dialed in and not give us any trouble and not have to do any blends. Again, one of the major upgrades that we did on this car that I think is missed a lot of times is the suspension. And Ultimate Performance hooked us up with a seriously dialed in set of JRI shocks that'll make this car work as good as it looks, as good as it sounds, and as good as it ought to. So I want to thank JJ at Ultimate Performance and JRI for really knocking it out of the park as far as suspension stuff goes. And then Forgeline for building us a set of wheels that fit on the line of fitting and not fitting, but got as much tire as we could on there. So Hans got the car back, and he's the kind of guy who tests it by spinning the tires. I mean, he doesn't do break-in cycle. He expects to get it back when he can start beating the shit out of it. So we knew right away this thing better work, because there was going to be tire patches in his driveway the first time he got in the driver's seat. So I've talked to him a few times. We did have trouble on the dyno, so he's super curious now that he's gotten a chance to drive it to really know what kind of power the thing is putting to the ground. He has other fast cars, so he's got a relatively good comparison, but I think that it's kind of surprising, so he's getting real curious what kind of power it's making.